Man, this is a great thread. If you were interested in seeing an article that will, it's almost up to date. It's up to date as of like a year ago. This is from July 12, 2019. And it's pretty comprehensive. It's got 50,000 views on this so far. This is from usareally.com. This looks like, I've never seen this website before, but this looks like one of these sites that is kind of the, off the beaten path. It's going to show you, you can look and see about us. In fact, let's just see, what is the USA really all about? This is an interesting political cartoon, and it says, Today, people of US do not receive objective and independent information about events occurring in the territory of America and around the world. It looks like it was translated. This looks like it was written and then is being translated into English. The USA Really Wake Up Americans, unquote, project is focused to promote crucial information and problems which are hushed up by the conventional American media controlled by the establishment and the oligarchy of the United States. Okay? No arguments from me there, USA Really. So, okay, I trust this enough. Let's just kind of read through this. This says, this is the list of all of the U.S. politicians charged with or convicted of sex crimes against minors. And you're going to notice this language here. I'm going to point this out. Crimes against minors. This says sex crimes against minors. If you read in 2020, they don't say against minors. They say sex with minors. They say sex with minors instead of sex crimes against minors. The language in the media, they're not stupid. They're intelligent people. They're evil, but they're intelligent people at the very top. They choose the language, and we've talked about this before, the double speak. Do no harm. Harm is subjective. Harm is a feely word. Crime, that's physical, that's real, that is a tangible thing. You either did or did not commit a crime. It's subjective if you caused harm. So they say, well, if you harm or endanger a child, it's not the same thing as what they're doing because this isn't necessarily harming. So they refuse to anymore call it sex crimes against children. Now they say it's sex with minors. But this is coming right out on the top and saying this is a crime. So lots of Republicans to speak of. You say the Republican Speaker of the House. You guys remember Dennis Hastert, old Denny Hastert. He was indicted on federal charges of structuring bank withdrawals after prosecutors alleged that he had molested at least 4 young boys as young as 14. Well, so then what you're saying is Dennis Hastert molested 14-year-old boys. So he molested young not prepubescent, but preteens. If they're 12, 13, 14, come on, they're not really like teenagers. I don't think of them as like, 17, 18, 19. That's what you think of as like the snooty teen. The, twerp who still secretly likes playing his Game Boy and just doesn't want to admit that he stays up late to play his Game Boy, who's 12 or 13, 14, he's being molested. 4 of them at least, this says. And in an attempt to compensate them, so he's paying them off, and subsequently conceal those transactions. So this is a dude who was federally indicted because he was structuring bank withdrawals to kids that he was paying off. I wonder what happened to the ones he didn't have to pay off. He was only sentenced to 15 months in prison, guys. 15 months. Hastert eventually admitted that he sexually abused boys who he had coached decades ago. So 4 decades he's done this then, right? He spent 15 months in a prison. That's it. Tim Nolan, chairman of the presidential campaign in Kentucky for Trump, pled guilty to child sex trafficking on the 11th of 2018. He's sentenced to serve 20 years. You guys see the difference? When was Dennis Hastert arrested? Well, it wasn't during Trump's presidency. When was Tim Nolan popped? During Trump's presidency, and he got 20 years. It seems like a bigger punishment there. Almost seems like it's not a bunt so much as it is a full home run, put that guy away. The only way that it could be a grand slam is if he got, Anyways, this says Republican State Senator Ralph Shorty was indicted on 4 counts of human trafficking and child pornography. In November of 2017, he pleaded guilty to 1 count of child sex trafficking in exchange for dropping the other charges. This says Republican anti-abortion activist Howard Scott Heldreth is convicted of a child rape in Florida. Frickin' Christ almighty, people. Republican County Commissioner David Swartz pled guilty to molesting 2 girls under the age of 11 and was sentenced to 8 years in prison. Good. Should be 18 million years in prison. That prison should be hell. Republican Judge Mark Pazahuanich, I don't know, pled guilty to fondling a 10-year-old girl and was sentenced to 10 years probation. Probation? You fondled a 10-year-old and you get probation? You fondle a 10-year-old, we should take your hands and feet off. Should make you a stumpy guy. I don't care. Pay for you to go live in a home with a nurse somewhere, not like a home, but like go be in a prison where nurses help you for the stumpy, handless individuals that molest 10-year-olds. Take their hands off. Don't care. And I know that the real perverts in the room are saying, yeah, they can still molest them with other parts of their... Shut up. I don't want to hear that. Republican anti-abortion activist Nick Morency pleaded guilty to possessing child porn. So you can see there's a long list of Republicans. We're not going to necessarily skim or we're not going to skip them, but I will skim this. Edison Misla Aldarando was sentenced to 10 years in prison for raping his daughter for a decade, from 9 to 17. He raped his daughter for 8 years. This is a Republican legislator. Edison Misla Aldarando. Hey, keep it all in the family, huh? Give me, huh? Keep it all in the family, mija. Gross. Unreal. Republican Mayor Philip Giordano, serving 37 years, baby, in federal pen. Pound you in the mass penitentiary for sexually abusing 8 and 10-year-old girls. Republican campaign consultant Tom Shortridge was sentenced to 3 years probation for taking nude photographs of a 15-year-old. What the actual ever-living Republican Senator Strom Thurmond, notable racist, had sex with a 15-year-old black girl, which then produced a child. It's not which produced a child, it's whom produced a child. Come on. The 15-year-old black girl is not an object. You don't put which. Yeah, this girl that he had sex with, which produced a kid. No, you mean the black girl whom produced a child. Let's be a little fair here. Let's be fair. I'm being sarcastic and facetious, obviously. That's not the way they structured that sentence. I'm being a grammar Nazi. But anyways, Republican pastor Mike Hintz. Republican pastor Mike Hintz, whom George W. Bush commended during the 2004 presidential campaign. Oh, that's good. Surrendered to police after admitting a sexual affair with a female juvenile. He gave himself up. That's good. Peter Dibble said, "You got me," when he was accused of an inappropriate relationship with a 13-year-old girl. That's nice. Republican Congressman Donald Buzz Lukens. Yikes. That's not good at all. Buzz Lukens was found guilty of having sex with a female minor and was only sentenced to 1 month in jail. I bet you it was like, she was like 17 and 99%. And, because otherwise, how do you get 1 month in jail when you're banging a minor? Again, there's no excuse. And I'm not trying to justify that or rationalize it. I'm curious, like, how did the judge go, all right, you did something bad enough that I got to charge you, and it's bad enough that it's charging you with sex with a minor, but here's only 1 month? Like, how does that make any sense? Here's Republican activists. See, this list makes it easy because I know the first sentence, the first word in every sentence is Republican. It'll change here in a second, though. Republican activist Mark Grethen, convicted of 6 counts of sex crimes involving children. Randall David Ankeny, sexual assault, pled guilty on a child. Here's Dan Crane, sex with a female working minor. Gross. Here's a 16-year-old boy getting raped by Christian Coalition leader Beverly Russell. She offered him a 20 spot. Right? Picked him up at a gay bar? Oh, I see. Admitted to the incestual relationship with his stepdaughter. And here's another one. A congressman, anti-gay activist, Robert Bauman, was charged with having sex with a 16-year-old boy that he picked up from a gay bar. Okay. I guess we are going to skip some of these because this is getting long. This list is real long. Check this out when you have a minute, you guys. I don't see how it gets any better from here. If you were wondering, hey, is Donald Trump really going to go after some pedophile ring. Hello, these are the people that have been caught and punished, and it's public. What about the people who've been caught and not punished, and it's not public? What about the people who were caught and these people pulled them aside and say, you're going to get us in trouble. Knock it off. And then they clean up their mess. The media doesn't report, and it's all hush, hush, quiet, quiet. Has to be that, right? It has to be. Because otherwise you wouldn't have this list of Democrats now in the same, I'm not going to say sticky position. It's a gross thing. Here are the Democratic donors and celebs and representatives and governors and etc. All these people who have also been accused. And let's just say it's not better, it's not worse. Some of them are different, but they're all sex crimes. When it's Republicans, it's a sex crime. When it's Democrats, it's a sex crime. When it's communists, Marxists, anarchists, when it's a patriot, even though I would never say a patriot would also commit a sex crime. But sure, yeah, if you're a patriotic person and you commit it's a sex crime. Not sexual acts with a minor, not an uncomfortable advance. No. Sex crimes. Democratic donor and billionaire Jeffrey Erler. I don't want to say that name. It's going to be all, taboo on the YouTube. I don't know. I'm not that big. I can say Epstein. Ran an underage sex brothel, child sex brothel, and was convicted of soliciting underage girls for prostitution. We know he raped people. We know he tortured people. We know he trafficked the bodies before and after their deaths. And that's the saddest part. But I guess really the saddest part is the hypocrisy, right? I hope someone gets that joke. Democratic New York congressman, Google, the worst part is the hypocrisy. If you want to really know, you should just pause because this is really a heavy, sad subject. Go open a new tab. Treat yourself and say, what is the worst part, comma, or you can type in, I thought the worst part was the hypocrisy. You'll get a good laugh, and it all relates to this. Democratic, it's not democratic, it's Democrat. So I'm going to fix this on the fly. Democrat, New York Congressman Anthony Weiner. Well, his laptop is infamous. He pled guilty to transferring obscene material to a minor as part of a plea agreement. See, part of this is public, part's not. For sexting and sending Twitter DMs to underage girls as young as 15. So there were many underage girls. Some were older, but they were at least as young as 15. Democrat donor activist Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein. Democrat, see, you saw at the beginning of this, okay? You saw it started out with Hastert. It says Denny Hastert. And then it's like, how can we find another person who is tied to Trump? And they're flipping through, Republicans who are tied to Trump who have been outed. Well, there's only this one, really. Only this one, Tim Nolan in Kentucky. And then you say, okay, well then fine, what about the Democrats? Everyone that's current and modern. Jeffrey Epstein, Anthony Weiner, Harvey Weinstein. The big three right off the bat, all Dems. Weird. Democrat activist and Me Too proponent. Me Too. Hello. Asia Argento. Well, we saw that one coming, huh? We knew that wasn't going to settle for her for long. Well, she settled a lawsuit for sexual harassment stemming from sexual activities with an underage actor. Why don't you just say she molested a child, like you did for the Republicans? Democrat mayor of Racine, Wisconsin, Gary Becker, convicted of attempted child seduction, child porn, and other child sex crimes. Mayor Ed Murray from Seattle, Democrat mayor. Oh, weird. The Democratic governors and mayors in particular. The Republicans seem to have a lock on the representatives. The Republican representatives from old, they were prolific rapers. And it seems like the executive local leadership from the Democrat Party is exactly the same. So you have Ed Murray, you have aide to Bill de Blasio, Jacob Schwartz, possession of 3,000 child porn images. Gross. That's gonna make me sick. Russell Simmons, not shocking. He doesn't even live in the U.S. anymore, does he? He moved to some Asian. Where does Russell Simmons live? Where does he live now? He was accused of rape by 3 women. And now he lives in France or something, right? Because he can't be extradited. Bali. Fucking Christ. 20 women accused him of harassment and rape. Rape. You got accused of rape. Russell Simmons, bad dude. 20 women accusing him of rape. That's crazy. You know who else moved out of the country? Now I'm on a total tangent, but you know who else did? Russell Peters. Russell Peters moved. I don't know that he was accused. Was he? Wait, and now he has a new LA home in No, he moved. He has an amazing house to sell you. Yeah, he moved, right? He picked up and left. I don't know. I don't want to get into questioning why Russell Peters left, though I think it's weird that people are just fleeing the United States and moving out. Just like I think it's kind of weird that some people who are like, well, I didn't do all the terrible crimes, but I'm not innocent. They're all leaving California too. People are going to Texas or other states. Anyways, more Democrats like this one here, Russell Simmons, we just mentioned. How about the governor of Oregon? That would be a big one, right? Neil Goldschmidt. Well, he was caught by the newspaper, so he publicly admitted that he did in the past have a sexual relationship with a 13-year-old girl, but he only admitted it after it was okay that he could because, of course, the statute of limitations on rape had expired. What about the Congressman Mel Reynolds? Retired from Congress after he was convicted of statutory rape because he raped a 16-year-old volunteer. It's not like I had some sex with a minor and I didn't know she was a minor. She was very well developed, as they all would like to tell you. No, Mel raped a woman. She was just 16. So they called it statutory rape instead of rape. Weird. This list goes on, by the way. But it's people's connected to Hillary, people connected to all kinds of interesting people here. You can read on. I'm going to post this link in the comments, but you can see it's at usareally.com. Just a fascinating list of all of the U.S. politicians charged with or convicted of sex crimes against minors. And this has not been updated in the last year, so check it out. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like the video, and then you can make sure that you're subscribed. Make sure that you share the video out with anyone in your personal life who has told you, oh, that's crazy. The pedophilia, that's not really a real big problem. Oh, that's crazy. The conspiracy theories surrounding pedophile rings right here. All of these people who work together, who have a slush fund internally within the House of Congress, or the House of Representatives and the halls of Congress, they have slush funds, right? We saw the $47 million fund that was used 3 different times by the people who are eventually wrapped up in Me Too. People like Al Franken, they say, I'm going to write you a little $2 million check out of this giant lump sum, or maybe it's a $300,000 check. Hey, I'm going to pay you off. We all pay off some people through the Congress, and so $47 million is a slush fund for Congress to pay off their sex victims. I don't think is right. I don't think you should either. I think you should share this video with some idiot who's going to tell you, and would tell me, and they'll still be listening to this at the end of this video, hey, I don't think that's real. Pedophilia is not a real problem. I don't think it's connected. I think you just see some pedophiles, and then you just go, oh, well, it's conspiracy to think it's all related. Is it? No, I don't think so. So share this video with them. And then again, make sure you subscribe to the channel so that we can collect... nope, that's a communist propaganda. Let's together keep America